The day the court date was set, I sat on the edge of the bench, fingers trembling, watching my son adjust his tie nervously beside his lawyer. He looked so much older than he was. Only 19, but the lines around his eyes had deepened far too early. My ex-husband sat on the opposite side, shoulders stiff, jaw clenched, pretending to look unaffected. He had once held my hand like it was fragile glass. But that man was long gone. The one who sat across from me now was a stranger with fire in his eyes and ice in his heart. When we married, I believed love would conquer everything. We had dreams. We had plans. But things changed. He became controlling, unpredictable. I tolerated it for years for my son. But the day he raised his hand at our boy, something inside me broke. I left the very next morning. I thought leaving him would bring peace. I was wrong. He retaliated in the most brutal way. He disowned our son, cut him out of the will, sold family property that was promised to the boy, and claimed in court that the child wasn't even his. It wasn't about money. It was punishment. For leaving. For disobeying. For choosing peace over pride. But my son, my brave, determined boy, didn't let it break him. He filed the case himself. Found a lawyer willing to fight pro bono. He gathered school records, family photos, even old text messages where his father once proudly called him my heir. He showed the bruises hidden under shirt sleeves, the silence in dinner conversations, the fear we both lived in. On the stand, my son spoke not with anger, but truth. I loved my father, he said, voice steady. But love should not feel like fear. He humiliated my mother, manipulated us, and then abandoned us when we needed him most. He made me feel like I didn't matter, that I was just an obstacle to his pride. The courtroom was silent. My ex-husband, for the first time in years, looked small, not powerful, not terrifying, just small. When the verdict came, it wasn't about the money. Yes, the court ordered a share of the property to be restored. But more than that, it declared something my son needed to hear. You are his son, and you always were. We walked out of that building with nothing fancy in our hands. No check, no keys. But my son held something better, his dignity. Outside, he looked at me, his eyes glassy. Mom, he said, you always told me monsters hide in stories. But sometimes they wear suits and call themselves father. Today, I slayed mine. I pulled him into a hug, my heart full of sorrow for what we lost, but even fuller with pride for what he had won. He wasn't just my son, he was my hero.